Hello guys, welcome again. This is the fourth week of our video editing masterclass. I remain my humble self, Paul Gottsman. So this week we are going to be diving straight to the business of the day, and we are still on the basic animation. Like we started this particular topic last week and we did this animation. You still remember, right? So I'm very sure that most of us have watched and learned one or two things right here. So we learned how to animate an object from outside the screen to inside the screen, as it is being displayed right here. You can see the movement. So today we are going to just go move forward to the rest of the animation proper, and we have four aspects of animation. We have the position, which is this that we have done, positioning from left to right, which we did last week. So we also have scaling, so we can make something smaller or bigger, right? So while it is being animated, we can make something that is small, animate it to be big, right? Also we have rotation. We can make something rotate while animating, right? We also have opacity. Opacity is actually transparency, how to make an object disappear from your screen or appear from your screen, and you can animate it as well. All right, so let's get started. We are not going to repeat this particular one because we have done it. If you have forgotten, just go back to the video and refresh your memory, right? So let's just go straight to the next one, which is scaling. So you can see that after position, the first one we have here under motion is scale, and scale is the scale is actually to reduce or increase sizes. So we can, this particular object now, we can choose to scale it up or scale it down, make it big or make it small. That is scaling. All right, so we are going to animate. So I'm going to, I duplicated all of these things. I only animated one, then I duplicated all of this. So I'm going to delete these ones already. So how do we scale this? I'm thinking maybe I should scale it from here, or I should start afresh, something afresh. I think I should start something afresh. Maybe later I will now come back to this particular one and do a general animation or all-in-one animation on this particular object. So let me just bring in another object so that I can start the animation afresh. So let me leave the effects panel. Let me go to my media, right? Go to my media browser, my project browser. Like I said last week, that make sure that all your resources right there are being organized, right? So I'll just bring in, let me say this one, let me bring in this one to my timeline. So this to my timeline is already as big as the screen, right? So let me first scale it up a little bit. I'm not animating, I just want to get a particular size that I want, right? So before I start doing any animation, so you can see that, let's say this is how I want my object to be. This is the size I want my object to be after animation. So what I will now do right now is, you remember last week that we talked about keyframing and stopwatch, right? So the keyframe is to the stopwatch, which is this ones right here, there are to create stopwatch, and also stopwatch are to create movement. Stopwatch are to create movement. Keyframes are to create stopwatches. Oh, I'm so sorry. These stopwatches are to create keyframes, and keyframes definitely create movement. Alright, so now I will just say from the beginning of, like I said last week as well, that movement happens when two steps are taken, right? When two steps are taken, then movement happens. There can never be any movement when you only take a step. So to take a step, there must be at least two steps. All right, so from the beginning of this, I don't want to see anything. I want this thing to scale out of my screen, right? So I will adjust. You can see that. Just be mindful of the 35 ratio that we have right here, which is the amount of the size I want this thing to appear after animation. So just take note of this 35, right? So, but from the beginning of this, I want it to be at the 0%. So that means we're not seeing anything. And make sure that you are creating your stopwatch. You are creating your keyframe by adding stopwatch. So you can create it first, then take it to 0, or take it to 0, then create your stopwatch. Anyone works. Then after that, remember that I will now shift my bar a little bit forward into the timeline, few seconds forward into the timeline. Then I will go back to 35, which is my normal size. So you can see that I have my movement recorded. So if I take the bar back to the beginning, and I hit the space bar. Space bar is for playback. So I hit it. You can see my animation. See, very smooth animation that we have here. And like I said, the speed of your animation is depending on the space in between your two keyframes, right? So if the space is closed up, we're going to have a fast animation, right? We're going to have a fast animation, and if the space is widened, we are going to have a very slow animation. All right, that's how to adjust animation pace or speed. I believe that is understood. Okay. All right, so that is that about scaling. And before we leave scaling, let's just continue. Before we leave scaling, so let's say that probably you want something that will scale out, then stay a little bit, then scale back in. Do you get it? Scale out, stayed or stays, then after a while scale back in, and you're no longer seeing the stuff. So this is how to do that. So the recording, the programming is from the beginning is on 0, and it scale out to 35 at this particular time. And so we want to save that from this point to forward your bar to this point. You just want it to stay, no animation. Then you create another keyframe right here. Like I said last week, that to add or remove keyframe, this is where you come to. You just click this area. It will add or remove this keyframe. If you want to remove it, just click on it and click this thing, right? So it has disappeared. But now I want to add. I will just add another keyframe right here. So because I'm not adding anything, it's still on 35%. Because I'm not controlling it, I'm not putting anything there, it will stay. So the recording from the beginning is like from 0, it scales out to 35, and from this keyframe 2 to keyframe 3, no animation, so it stays. They will now say that from this third keyframe to the fourth keyframe, it should go back to 0, then hit 0, then enter, then it go back to nothing. So that is our animation. So let's go back from the beginning to play back. So boom, from the beginning, 0 to 35, it stays, then it goes back. There, that's it. That's powerful. That's powerful and interesting. I believe that when you practice this on your own, it will get more interesting and interesting. So let's go on to the next animation, which is rotation. All right, let's go to rotation. Let me also delete this and bring another fresh thing. I'm still using the same image, but bringing it afresh and scale it to the specific size that I want. All right, so I just use the scale to reduce the size. We're not using, we have passed scaling animation. And where we are going right now is rotation, and rotation is to rotate, Abby, right? Is to rotate. Yeah, so as I'm just playing with it now, we can make it an animation. So yeah, undo, yes. All right, so just the same process, create your keyframe by hitting the stopwatch right here, and you can say from there move the bar forward and drag the degree, and it depends on how many times you want it to rotate. Is it 90, 80 degree, or 160 degree, or 180 degree, or 3 something degree? All right, so just keep moving it. So how many times like that? It's still going, but let's stop right here. So we have recorded our animation. So how many times did you roll? Yeah, you can see very beautiful animation that we have right here. So basically that's also how this works. So without further explanation, let's go to the next animation, which is opacity. And like I said, opacity is for transparent, to make your object transparent. All right, let me also reduce the scale, the size. The same process, right? The same process for opacity. Forget all of these ones. These ones are not animation. So let's come back to opacity. Open up opacity from here, this arrow, so that you can see the stopwatch. So like you can see, this one is already turned on. The stopwatch here is already turned on, so you don't have to click here again. Just click here to add a stopwatch. So we want to say that at the beginning of this, we want it to be on 0. That means you will not see anything. And then move your bar a little bit forward, take it back to 100 to fully appear. So our movement has been recorded. So that's it. So this is how to do fade out or fade in. Let me increase the gap between, and so that the fading in can be smooth. Beautiful. Yeah, so that is that about that as well. So we have done how to scale, how to animate using the scale position, rotation, and opacity. All right, so one thing I now want us to do is to apply everything on one object. Let's see how it looks. So from last week we had this particular animation, position animation, right? So we want to play around with this. Let me stretch this a little bit. Like I said, this image, for the image we can stretch to any length. We can stretch the duration to any length because it has no time in it, so we can stretch it to any length we want. We can make it 1 second, we can make it 1 hour, 10 hours, right? Because it's an image, it has no time in it, right? But if it is video, video has time, it has duration, so you can stretch it more than the time, but you can reduce it below the time. All right, so right here we have this animation, animation positioned from outside the screen to inside the screen. All right, so from here what I want to do is that it will scale up a little bit, it will stay. It has come from outside to inside, so I want it to stay a little bit, Let me zoom my animation timeline by just dragging the space so that I can see what I'm doing clearly. So you can zoom in and zoom out your timeline from here, just like you can do from here, right? All right, so you can also zoom from here and here. So it's just from here to here, it stays. All right, so where is my scaling? This is my scaling, right? So where this position stops, I want to start scaling from there. But before I start scaling, I want this object, because if I start scaling immediately from where this thing stops, it will not breathe, and I want it to breathe a little before scaling up. All right, so that is why I'm going to create a breathing space for the position. So it comes from outside from point A to this point, and from this point to this point it stays, right? It stays. So from the end at which it's finished staying, I want to apply my scaling. So I have created one keyframe. As you know that one keyframe cannot make a movement, so I'll go a little bit forward and increase my scaling just a bit, right? So movement has happened, so I can scale, I can play back and say this, bam, boom. Place from outside, comes in, stay, then boom. I can make the scale up to be a little bit faster. Wow. All right, so after scaling up, I also want the scaling to stay a bit, so I'll create a breathing space. I create another keyframe, so from here to here nothing happens to it, right? Nothing happens to it. Then I'll go to my rotation, so that my rotation can come in at the end of the breathing space of the object. So you can see, so I've created one point, and I will create the movement by creating the second point of animation, which is to rotate it like this. Boom. Boom. All right, so let's play from the beginning. It comes in, stays, zoom up, and you can see. So my rotation is so fast. Let me reduce the speed by reducing the space between the keyframes. awesome. So I also want it to stay a little bit, so I'll create that breathing space keyframe right here. So from here to here it stays. Then I'll now go to the last one, which is opacity. So I'll just say from here to here I want it to what? To disappear away from the screen. So after rotation it stays, then it disappears. Oh, awesome. So let's play back from the beginning. Comes in, scale up, rotate, and then boom, disappears. Again, comes in, scales up, rotates, and disappears. So that is how to animate in Adobe Premiere Pro. It's simple, right? Very simple and easy. Just go ahead and practice very, very well till you get it. Watch and watch again, watch it and rewatch till you master it. Make sure that it becomes part of you. These are the things that most of us can do without thinking, and that is why we can teach it. You can teach it anywhere. So let it become part of you. Don't forget to like, share, and invite other people to come and learn just as you are learning. Don't be selfish, and also make sure, very important, that you subscribe to my channel, and so that you can be notified when I upload new videos. Don't forget, I said in my last video that after this after this training we are going to do a live editing. So we'll just pick probably a music video or something, so we'll just edit from beginning to the end. You wouldn't want to miss that, right? You wouldn't want to miss that. All right, so the next thing we are going to be doing right now is color correction. It's color correction. So what is color correction? So I'm just going to give us a brief about what color correction is all about. So color correction is the process of fine-tuning colors to make sure that they appear natural and consistent. Usually this process fixes bad lighting, white balance, and washed away colors, right? So any color that seems washed away, it fixes it. So color correction usually involves adjusting brightness and contrast to balance light and dark areas. So color correction is as simple as that. So let's go watch samples of what color correction is all about. So let me play this. From raw to corrected, from raw to color corrected, from raw to color corrected. So you can see the difference between the two. All right, now the raw footage that we want to work on. So this is the raw footage that I want us to quickly work on right now. So I click on my, so because this takes us back to video effect, right? Yeah, this takes us back to video effect, and we are going to video color correction is under video effect. So that means we are jumping right into the effects panel right here, and under it we'll go to video effects. You can see right there, go to video effects and locate color correction. And under color correction, you can try most of these things out. You can try this contrast and brightness, just like the definition says, but I actually like to use lumetri color because it gives me more options. So I just drag this one into my clip, and dragging in on your clip does not automatically do anything. You still have to come to effect controls. Remember effect controls in our last class, right, where we control the effect, right? So you scroll down to where you will see the lumetri color that you just added, right? So under lumetri color right now we have basic, we have creative, we have curves, we have wheels, we have HSL secondary vignette. All right, but where we are going is basic correction, because what we want to do is to correct this color. So, but as you can see this particular color, what do you think is missing? What do you think is missing? This is supposed to be a very green field, so I should be feeling green. Actually, I should be feeling green. I should be having this green feel everywhere, but it seems so washed away, right? So it seems so washed away. Sometimes this is what raw footage gives you from camera. So, and this is what we want to correct right here. So I come to my effect controls under lumetri color, then I open up basic correction. So you can see we come down to exposure. Exposure will increase or reduce the brightness, which is the light. All right. Contrast actually is the depth of the color. Make it light or make it thick, right? So highlight will make sure if you reduce highlight, it will give you more details. It spells out more details of the color. All right, so let's just go one after the other, and sometimes we might go beyond this, but what I need from here most likely might be maybe one or two things. I don't know. Brightness, which is exposure. Is the light okay? I think the lighting is okay, but for the teaching sake, you can increase it, you can see it, make it brighter or make it darker. So if it's something that you have seen, you have received like this, you can come to exposure to lighten it up, right? Yeah, so good. Now where I'm going right here is saturation. Saturation actually gives me the kind of color that I want. If there is a missing color in a particular footage, most of the times saturation brings it out. Especially in the case of this green. So if I increase it from this 100, increase it, so you can see that we are having a feel of green compared to what we have before. And we want to see the before and after. Just come back to lumetri color right here and toggle off the effect from here. Like I said last week, that this FX means effect, and this is where you turn it off or turn it off. So if I turn it off, you can see the difference between the original, which is the raw footage, and the corrected footage. Right. So it's a green field. One thing that is a major thing is the green, right? So, and that is what I just went ahead to fix. The temperature, you can make it warm or make it blue. This is warm and this is blue. Sometimes we like it blue, but not too much of the blue. Yeah, blue because there is a sky involved. So it might have to have also a feel of blue, right? So you just think of it. What else can you add to it? This is my shadow, black. Just go ahead and check if some other things are missing that you can quickly add to it. If not, then you're good to go. It doesn't have to be complex or plenty things. Yeah, so that is that. There are some times that you might have to enter creative and use vibrance. Use your vibrance, but not all the time, because sometimes it adds some unnecessary stuff to your footage. You get, so just know how to balance things up. All right, and you're good to go. You're good to go. You're good to go. You're good to go. So let's go ahead and turn it off so that we can compare our before with our after. So you can actually see the difference. This is more colorful, it's giving us the green feel, unlike this. All right, so this is beautiful, this is amazing. So the next thing we will be treating now is how to export our file, our project, to a viewable video format, something that you can also transfer and watch on your device or post on your social media pages and YouTube. But before we do that, I also want to talk about audio fading and fade out, which is also a kind of animation, audio animation, that you should learn as well. So it is the same process with the way we did the other animation. So I just grabbed a clip that has both video and audio, but because we want to adjust the audio, we will not be coming to anywhere here, so we just want to go straight to audio effect. You can see up here we have video effect, and down here we have audio effect. So we just come straight to audio effect. Then under audio effect is volume, and under volume we have level. So we are coming to level, and you can see that the stopwatch is also activated. So what we just need to do from the beginning is to make sure that we are not, this is 0.0 dB is the average, is the normal volume, right? Is the normal volume. So we now have to take it down. So take it down to make sure that we are not hearing anything at all. So, and it has created the keyframe right here, which means that we are ready to record at our second point. So at our second point now, after fast forwarding the bar few seconds, then we'll now take it back to the 0.0 dB, which is our normal or average volume, or if you want to make it louder than that, then you go ahead. Yeah, so this will play your audio from nothing, then it increases to playing something. So that is how to fade an audio in. And after playing and playing and playing and playing, and it is high time for you to fade it out so that you don't hear anything again, you make sure that there is a breathing space between. If you create another stopwatch here and immediately reduce the volume, there will not be a staying point, right? There will not be a staying point, which is very, very bad. So it means that from here to here, you want it to stay at the normal volume. Then from here to another point that we're about to create, you can now say that go back to no voice. Yeah, then your audio fades out till you hear nothing anymore. So that's beautiful. That is also how to adjust your audio. So right now we'll go straight to exporting our video, right? video. Let me go ahead and delete this, so that the only thing we are exporting is this. Let me also bring this backward so we don't have an empty background. All right, so to export, now you go to your file. From file you go to export, then you go to your media, or from here, from your timeline, you can just press your Ctrl M on your keyboard, or Command M on your Mac, and it brings you to your export settings. I already have some settings here, but you might have to start your own afresh. So from the format, there are a lot of formats right here that you can choose from right there. But if you are doing anything, going out on social media, on the media, on TV, on all of those things, we are choosing our H.264. H.264 must be selected. All right, then preset will depend on where you are trying to export to. If it is Android tablet, Android phone, an iPhone, and all that, you scroll down, Apple TV, or what again, HD. You want to export HD, or you want to export something that's going on YouTube. Is it 4K, HD, 720p, and all that? Yeah, so the ball is in your court, but most of the times you can choose from this. If you are doing HD, you can just choose from HD, because the current settings that I have is HD, not 2K, and it's not 720p. So you can either choose from HD or come to YouTube HD. Anyone is good. So I'll just come to HD on 1080p, which is standard high definition format. All right, so that is that about that. So output name, I can select here, select the location where I want to export my video, and I can change the name to animation, then say save, and then come down, scroll down. So you leave all these settings as it is. Dimension, leave everything as it is. All right, so but for this actually adjust the quality of your export of your video, the quality and the size. All right, so if you can see now the target bitrate is on 32, right? And at 32 you can see what the size is giving us, 90 MB. So it means that if you change this one to 10 bitrate, it will be giving us, the size will be giving us 28 MB, even though it will still give us a good quality. Yeah, it will still give us a good quality. Sometimes the difference, there might not be difference between 10 bitrate and 30 bitrate. The only difference that you will be seeing is the size of the file, but not necessarily on the quality, right? So most of the times I go to 10 or 15 or 20 to be sure that I'm rendering enough good quality, right? All right, so, and if I want it to be smaller and faster in rendering, in exporting is also called rendering. You can take it to 5 or 3. If I want to do maybe a proof, a sample, right, for people to see and review, I don't have to wait to render for so long before achieving that. I can bring it down to 3 or 2 as sometimes safe, so it can be faster. And also make sure that you are taking this, use maximum render quality. There is another one that looks like this. Don't check that one, because that one will take forever for it to render this. I mean this render at maximum depth. This one will take forever to render, so you might want to skip that and use maximum render quality, and this does not affect the quality, or it affects the quality but not the size. So when you are done, just click export. Apparently exporting or rendering takes a lot of time. There are some files that take a project that takes 5 hours, 10 hours, 24 hours, days to render, depending on the heaviness of the project, of the work, so, and the duration. This is just a few seconds, 23 seconds video. So, and the what's it called, the bitrate is not high, so the render and the export will be very fast. So we are done exporting our video, and we can go to our desktop to take a look at what we have rendered. I'm not sure if you have minimized. I've minimized Premiere Pro, so I'm not sure you guys can see my desktop, but I'm actually trying to play it on my desktop. So yeah, it plays so well and beautifully. So just go ahead and try it on your end. Make sure that you practice and practice and practice till it becomes part of you. I think I think this is the end of the 4 weeks training. This is the end of the 4 weeks training, but next week peradventure we'll have our live editing. Probably next week or upper week we'll have our last editing. I will make sure that I communicate it to you guys. There will be a design for it, that okay, this is the time that we'll be doing the live editing, where we'll now make use of all the skills that we have learned in these 4 weeks, all the necessary tools that we have learned. This is where we are going to be putting them to practice, and also the stuff that I haven't touched, I'll be able to touch them at that particular time, because I'm not sure we have touched text at all. Yeah, we have not touched text at all. How to bring in text to your project, how to animate text as well, and all of that. I think we are going to be treating that during our live editing. So don't miss the live editing for anything. Don't miss it at all. It's going to be live, where you guys are going to be asking live questions, and I'll be treating every question that you have. Thank you very much for joining this time. Don't forget to subscribe to my channel. It's very important. Also share this video, share the link to your friends and family. Let them learn something. This would have costed you a lot of thousands to learn, and that's what we have given you free of charge for 4 weeks. Make sure that you don't take it casual. Make sure that other people are coming to learn, and we are taking down this video very soon, and we're going to be selling it. Yeah, we're going to be selling it. So you're lucky to be here, part of the people that will take advantage of this free training. Make use of it while it lasts. My name is Paul Gottsman once again, and I say thank you for joining us for these 4 weeks. I'm so grateful that you have been part of it from the beginning till the end. I'm so proud of you. Just keep practicing, keep creating, and if you have any question, drop it at the comment section. I will get to see it and answer your questions accordingly. Thank you very much once again. See you later.